What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and we have finally, we have the data download for the brand new Katakuri and SNAKEMAN. Now, when this data download came through, I was literally about to go to sleep. Luckily, some very kind individuals over on the subreddit Discord did tag me, and I quickly got out of bed, turned on my computer, and I got to make this video for you guys. There'll be two videos you guys will be seeing here. This first video is basically just going to be for Katakuri V2 and SNAKEMAN, and then I'll be making another video talking about the new 6+ characters that are going to be arriving, being Nekomamashi and Inuarashi. So make sure to stick around on the channel for that one. But anyways, guys, let's get into the insane hype that is going to be Katakuri V2 and SNAKEMAN. Before we actually get into it though, I do want to say massive shout out to Anton over on Twitter and Japan Uber Owls. The links to their Twitters will actually be down below in the description and below in the pinned comments. Make sure you go ahead and check them out. Make sure to follow them. They'll always post up the artworks and stuff for the new characters that are coming out. So make sure to follow them. Big shout out to them for the data mining of the characters. And shout out to Koala-san and all the cats over on the Discord for doing some translations for these characters. But let's go ahead and get straight into it. So first of all, let's talk about my boy, the Mr. Slam Jam, Charles Barkley. Shout out to King of Lightning, Katakuri. Charlotte Katakuri, the brand new character, the newest legend that is going to be arriving here. He is going to be a Psy Fighter powerhouse character, and at max level, at level 99, he has 4,360 HP, 1855 attack, and 315 recovery. Now, these are his max limit broken stats. Now, looking at what he does, he definitely wouldn't need any type of recovery, so you definitely would go ahead and stock up his HP and attack. So he goes up to an insane amount of health, over 2,000 attack, which is fantastic. He has 55 cost and 5 socket spots. Now, his captain effect is pretty weird. Like, I don't really understand why they decided to go with this functionality for his captain effect. Basically, if you are a fan of the previous Katakuri legend, you're going to be a pretty big fan of this character. But then again, if you aren't a fan of the original Katakuri, then you might not like how this actual captain effect is structured. So his captain effect will go ahead and boost 5 classes, very similar to the version 1 Katakuri, but this time the classes are actually changing. This time he boosts Fighter, Slasher, Shooter, Driven, and Powerhouse characters attack by 1.825, and once again the exact same multiplier as version 1 Katakuri, but instead of being the other classes, they're going to be a little bit different. Still going to be a 3.33 times boost to your characters if they have 2 of the 5 classes that you see here. Now, on top of this, you might think, that's a little bit underwhelming. However, he does have a very, very interesting mechanic with his captain effect. It says he boosts color affinity of normal attacks by 1.4 times. So he is the first character in the game to have a captain effect that has inbuilt color affinity. Now, this can be both a good thing and a bad thing, because this means that obviously when you're going up against someone that you're super effective against, then you're going to be doing a crap ton of damage against them. But on the other hand, if you do have some characters on your crew that don't have type advantage against these characters, their attack is going to be significantly weakened. So it's really interesting. It's like it's a high risk, high reward, honestly, with his captain effect so far. But it is cool. It is a new mechanic that we have not seen before in the game, color affinity in the captain effect, and this can actually mean that he is going to be dealing a crap ton more damage compared to the original Katakuri as a captain. But you do have to prepare your team much more efficiently before heading into a dungeon to make sure that you do have the type effectiveness on your crew. And I think against Colosseums in particular, building teams for his captain effect might be a little bit tricky, just because Colosseum bosses have so many different bosses and so many different colors that you have to take into account. So the color affinity thing could end up being a bad thing for Katakuri, but it's going to be interesting to see how some of the whales and some of the other JP players build teams around this character. I'm a big fan of him just because I'm a huge Katakuri fan, but I do like the fact that he has inbuilt color affinity with his captain effect, along with 3.33 constant multiplier in the dungeon, is actually pretty strong. However, this actually goes a little bit further now. So on top of this, he also makes strength, Psi, Recovery, and Tandem Orbs beneficial to all characters, and he has an added new mechanic that states that he's going to recover 50% of all of the damage that you took in the previous stage when you enter into the next stage. So to give you guys a good example of how this would work, so hypothetically, let's say you enter stage 1 of a fight, and let's say you take 5,000 damage. This means that when you go into stage 2 of the fight, you're going to be recovering half of that damage. So if you took 5,000 damage, when you enter the next room, you're going to be recovering 2,500 HP. This is a really interesting sort of mechanic with his captain effect, and it kind of means that you might want to actually, take your time in clearing content with him as a captain so you can build up your damage taken, because his special ability, something that we haven't seen in the game thus far, is very, very insane, and it definitely does require you to actually take damage in the middle of your run. So if you are going up against a boss that, does lots of preemptive damage or something like that, then Katakuri is going to be very, very good for that fight, as you can tank the damage, and that actually adds up with his special ability. So let's go ahead and talk about his absolutely bonkers insane special ability. So as of me recording this video right now, I'm unsure what he actually starts off at his initial cooldown, but the most important part is when you max his skill and you limit break him, he maxes at 15 turns. Now, his special ability gives me kind of like NL vibes, if you guys are very similar with how NL works. Basically, there'll be a value that will be stored in this character, and the value that is stored is how much damage that you take. So every time you take any bit of damage, that value is added to this character's special ability. And then what happens is that when you activate the special ability, he will deal 30 times the amount of stored damage that you've taken to all enemies, and this will max out at 6 million damage that you can possibly do when you activate the special. Now that might seem like a lot. It means that overall that you have to actually tank 200,000 damage before you can actually reach the max multiplier of 6 million damage. So in 99% of cases, you're not going to be taking that much damage in your entire run, but nonetheless, you can actually still get some pretty insane damage numbers here that can be really, really nice. It's AoE damage, you're going to be definitely being able to kill off a lot of the mob characters, and it's just a decent special all around, honestly. However, the thing about this special ability is it just doesn't always do damage. It actually has an added effect that makes him even better, which states that for one turn, he's going to do tap timing bonus damage, and the amount of tap timing bonus damage will actually change depending on how much damage that you've taken. So once again, that same value is going to be taken, so when you activate the special, it does the AoE damage of 30 times the amount of damage that you've taken. However, the value of your damage taken, if you multiply it by 15 times, that's how much added bonus damage you will get per tap during that turn that you activate the special. So you can get some crazy damage output when you activate his special ability, and you can actually see here that there is a max threshold for this, that you can get up to a maximum of 18 million damage between every single unit on your crew. But once again, you do have to reach the max threshold of 200,000 damage taken when you activate the special ability in order for you to reach 18 million damage with your entire crew. So, once again, once you do reach that threshold and you activate the special ability, each of your tap timing specific characters that will attack, that adds up to 18 million additional damage. Like, it is insane and absolutely bonkers that they've made a character like this. This definitely gives me vibes of not only NL, as I mentioned, but definitely V2 Dofi, who has such a broken special. But once again, I think that a lot of people need to calm down about this Katakuri a little bit, because you do have to take a lot of damage in order for you to actually get these really high, insane numbers. And in most cases, like in most Coliseum fights, you do want to be killing that stage and all of those fights as quick as you possibly can. And honestly, looking at the way that this character works, it doesn't look like he's going to be a character that is going to be speed farming at all. So I guess if you are more of a speed farmer, I don't think this character is going to be, a character that you really want to try and get. Either way, I do think that, even if you do take a little bit amount of damage, you still can get some pretty decent tap timing bonus damage, you still can get some pretty decent AoE damage, and it will help you overall kill the fight just a little bit easier. But all in all, I'm actually reasonably happy with the way that they've structured him. I think his captain ability is good, but I think that it would have been better if they made him just a little bit more different from his original version 1 legend, as he is just way too similar at this current time to his V1 legend. And I don't know, I think a lot of people are going to be a little bit pissed off that they've done this. And honestly, the way that this character is structured, it almost looks like he's a 6+ of the original Katakuri. But once again, we'll have to wait and see how some of the JP players actually go ahead and utilize this character and build teams for this character against some of the more difficult content. And now we get to the main event, the actual character that a lot of people have been waiting to see in this game, which is Monkey D. Luffy, Gear 4 SNAKEMAN. Now, as you can see right under his name, you can see that he is indeed a 6-star plus. Now, people might be wondering, what character is he the super evolution from? Is he the super evolution to Gear 4 Luffy? Is he the super evolution to Log Luffy, which I know a lot of people would have loved, and they definitely have teased it a little bit with the fact that he is a strength character, but no, he is indeed the super evolved version of the quick Gear 4 legend Luffy. This character is a strength fighter powerhouse character at max level at level 99. With his limit break, his health is 4,330, 1845, and 372 recovery. Now, this character is actually guaranteed in the Sugo Fest. Yes, he is a guaranteed character in the Sugo Fest. If you do 9 multis, you are guaranteed to get SNAKEMAN. That is bonkers. I mean, I know a lot of people on Global are going to be a little bit upset about that, but don't you worry, this will be arriving on One Piece Treasure Cruise Global sometime within 2019. Do not worry about that. But now let's go ahead and talk about his captain effect and how he has changed from the original Gear 4 Luffy. So his captain effect reduces all cooldowns by 1 at the start of the fight. Automatically amazing. Automatically he's like top tier. Like, just reducing cooldowns at the start of the fight is one of the most amazing parts of captain effects that I personally like, because I do personally like speed farming, and I love seeing the reduction of cooldown. With double SNAKEMAN, that's 2 turns. With cooldown sockets, that's 4 turns, and depending on what type of team you're running, you could run another cooldown ship as well. Like, you can beat content very, very quickly with this guy as a captain. Now, he boosts everyone's attack by 3.25 times, and everyone's HP by 1.35 times. Now, he actually makes Dex Orbs and Int Orbs beneficial to all characters. So that is his base captain effect. Now, he does get an upgraded captain effect when you use his special ability. So his special ability is titled King Cobra, and when you activate it, there are some minor changes here. So this means that for the next 3 turns, after 3 turns that you've activated the special, he becomes a universal 4.25 times attack boost to all characters after 3 consecutive perfects. But other than that, he's going to be a 4 times universal attack boost. So 4 times for the first 3 characters, 4.25 for the next 3 characters. Amazing. Just such a good captain effect. Just looking at it right now, I do think this might be the best captain ability in the entire game as it stands right now. Being a completely universal unit with cooldown reduction, 2 of the natural orbs are beneficial. There's not much really wrong with this character. His special ability is actually multi-staged as well. Now, at this current time, I'm not actually too sure. I can actually look it up really quick, but he is definitely a multi-stage special, and his stage 2 special maxes at 13 turns, which would mean that his stage 1 special should be reasonably low. I'm looking through Twitter as I'm actually recording this right now to see if I can locate his special cooldown. It should be around here somewhere, but the fact that it is such a low cooldown means that you can get his really high multipliers very, very quickly. That's a fantastic ability that he does have to actually do that. I can't actually find what his special cooldown is going to be at this current time, but actually I found it. Okay, 12 turns, so it's actually 7 turns less. So 12 turns without any skill ups, so 7 turns less than this is going to be his max cooldown as stage 1, so that means it is going to be a 6 turn cooldown for stage 1. Now, the stage 1 special ability is much weaker to the stage 2 special, obviously, but in terms of what he actually does, his stage 2 special ability does large non-type damage to one enemy. At this current time, I'm not too sure how much damage it does. I would assume it is at least 100 times his attack. On top of this, he adds 0.7 to the chain multiplier for 3 turns, so that's a win for me because I did predict that he was going to be a chain boosting special ability. I did also call Fighter Powerhouse for his class as well, but nonetheless, he has that as well. And on top of this, he is a 1.75 times orb boost for 1 turn. So the previous Gear 4 Luffy was a type booster. This guy is now an orb booster. For one turn, he's going to be 1.75, but he will be a 2x orb booster in the following turn if you hit 3 consecutive perfects. So you're definitely going to be reaching this, because with this character, you need to be hitting your perfects anyways. So that's great. And obviously, when you activate the special ability, you become the Snake Man, where you get 4.25 attack after 3 perfects, 4 times otherwise. Amazing. But on top of this as well, is that if he's your captain, when you activate the special, he will treat all type slots as beneficial for 3 turns. Holy damn, that is amazing. Yeah, it's so goddamn good, because having all type slots beneficial, but the thing is recovery in tandem is still not beneficial. Obviously, there are lots of sailors that make recovery beneficial. The Zunisha ship can be used with Snake Man because he's a powerhouse unit. So if you can find ways to make tandem and recovery beneficial, like, this character is so good. This character is so insane, and I definitely think this character, like, might be, like, top 3, like, literally top 3. We already knew Gear 4 Luffy, the quick version was amazing. This character's way better in my personal opinion. I love the way that he's structured. The only thing is now he is no longer a universal type booster. It might be a little bit more difficult to find yourself a type booster for your crew, because the quick version of Gear 4 Luffy, being his own type booster, made it much easier. I mean, because finding universal orb boosters is way easier than finding universal type boosters. So I think maybe for Snake Man, I think what people might do is they're going to try and build, like, class-based teams or color-based teams to make the team construction a little bit easier in terms of type boosts. But either way, man, this is some insane news. So let me know your thoughts and opinions about the new Snake Man being the actual super evolution of Gear 4 Luffy. And what are your thoughts on V2 Katakuri? I mean, I would be very, very interested to see what you guys think about Katakuri, especially with how similar his captain effect is to his original version, with some very, very minor changes. But overall, as we already mentioned, I do think that Katakuri will overall be a little bit better, the V2 version, than his original version, because he will deal more damage. But we'll have to wait and see how some of the people use these characters. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.